Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tapping into Abundant Success. I am so excited. Today I am joined with Colleen Lindberg. She's over in, where are you based at the moment, Colleen?
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. I was going to say America. So pleased I didn't say that. Okay. So Colleen is joining us today because she is also coming on board as one of my keynote speakers in the upcoming summit. But Colleen, I'm going to let you introduce yourself because you're going to do a much better job than me.
I actually really like it when people introduce me because sometimes I'm like, oh, that's so fun. I didn't even know that was something I do. I know it's just so hilarious. I'm just joking around. Hi, everyone. Colleen Lindberg here. I am a soul mission activator, spiritual guide. I do a lot of channeling work and I really help souls align in what they're actually here to do on earth and then own that with confidence and power in their truth to be able to make their impact in the world. So that's kind of the gist of me, sort of, we'll say, at this point in time.
Oh, I love how she's keeping it mysterious for us, right? Keeping it all, playing it down. We're not going to give away too much. Okay, we'll keep the mysterious up there. Getting the vibe here. Totally getting the vibe. Okay.
Tomorrow may be different, it's hard to say when we work in the spiritual world that we do, we just take movement and action when it drops in an alignment, right? So it's like, oh, we need you to create this. I was like, really? Like, is this what I'm supposed to be teaching? You're supposed to be teaching this right now. Okay, I'll just trust, so that's why I say it that way, where I'm like, that's what I am today.
Yes,
it's hard to say what I might be tomorrow.
I hear you. I hear you. And it's almost, do you ever find that you kind of wake up one day and go, okay, where am I today?
Yeah.
What am I
Every
doing
day I do that.
today?
Yeah.
Where is the universe going to take me today? What message does the universe need me to shout about today? It's crazy
Yeah.
stuff. But
So
anyway,
true.
just to get back to it, apologies for the little off tangent we went there. So Colleen, you are a soul mission activator. You are here to bring people out of the closet a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And fully into their, how would you describe it? Some people will say like their true purpose or their right path. So when you talk about alignment, what does that actually mean for you in your business?
Yeah. So, like, every single soul on earth right now has a mission here. So, before we jumped into our bodies to come down to earth, we made a contract on the other side stating, these are the things that I'm going to bring to earth. I'm going to learn from earth. I want to experience on earth. And this is like what I call the piece to the puzzle that I'm going to hold. Then we drop into our bodies and we become these little babies, and none of us remember what it is that we committed to. Or if we do, we start to forget because of the fact that we can't talk for the first few years. Maybe we're with parents that are not spiritually awakened, so they don't understand this dynamic. And then we get conditioned by our environments and school systems and teachers and all the things. And then we forget until we keep hearing this whisper moving through. Now, granted, at this point in time in the collective, a lot of children are awakened and they stay awakened, right? At a younger ages moving through. We have parents that are understanding this, helping them assist. But back when I was born, this wasn't a thing. So I started hearing what I call the whisper moving through my energy. Have you ever considered this? This is a skill set. And we start to kind of lean into this conversation. And some of us, if you're like me, completely rebel against it. Like most of my teenage and early adult 20s life, I purposely did everything against my intuition. So that led me down some amazing pathways. So many stories to share, like in that space about that. That's a whole other podcast though. And it's like that when you say alignment, it's like every single person has this vibration or frequency they're bringing into the world, and it's already us. Like, it's in us. We don't need to go find it, we need to remember it. And so my job and pathway on the earth is to help people remember and then fully confidently step into that, because a lot of the time it's going to take courage. Like, a lot of the mediums I work with, a lot of the people that see spirits, a lot of the people that, do certain work that in their mind they can't fathom that they do. And our soul mission takes some grit and some courage. And I'm sure that with your own pathway in life, how this is resonating with you and how you've had to grit down to actually own. Like, when I owned my psychic abilities, I was teaching a workshop that somebody asked me to teach, and they promoted it, a night with a psychic. And I was like, I'm not a psychic. Like, I don't identify as a psychic. Like, what is this, But I knew I had to say yes. And the universe was like, you need to do this, right? And I was like, what the hell? Like, I don't do this kind of work. And then all of a sudden I realized after the session, I do this kind of work, and it was like, because of the fact that I stepped in and had the courage to say yes, that it started to move. So I hopefully that answered your question about
Oh,
5 times, but like, there you go.
absolutely does answer the question. But you've more than answered the question, because you've actually shared a little bit of hope and inspiration there for some people who might be sitting there doubting and questioning their own journey, their own mind, their own belief systems. And I totally hear what you're saying, because I've always kind of known that I was intuitive. I've always
Yeah.
used my yeah, right, okay, cards on the freaking table here. Vulnerability is all out there, right? I've always used the word intuition because I was able to connect with that word. When
Mm-hmm.
people said to me, "You're a psychic medium," I'm like, "What the what are you talking
Yeah.
about?" No, I'm not. And it's only been in the last few months that I
Mm-hmm.
have allowed myself to accept that I am a psychic medium, and
Yeah.
I'm a fucking powerful psychic medium at that. And ever
Yeah.
since I opened that doorway, everything in my life is changing.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Everything is
yeah.
becoming so much more than, I've got this whole new sense of deep knowing. I've got this
Mm-hmm.
connection that I never had before, simply by accepting who I really am.
Yeah.
And it's it's hard to put into words sometimes, that actual journey, because before I was in alignment. There is no two ways about it, that
Yeah.
everything was working as it should. But there was that little tiny part of me that was like, something's still missing. I still haven't
Mm-hmm.
quite. And all of a sudden it all just came to me at the most divine moment, in the most amazing time of all. And that's when the doorways opened, because then I had those answers. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we all go on that journey of being misaligned, even when we feel aligned, but the
Mm-hmm.
acceptance is where it's really going. And this is a massive message that's actually coming up in the summit. The Spiritual Entrepreneurs Business Growth Summit, which you're speaking at, Colleen, is all about opening those doors, letting in the light, and actually accepting who you truly are with your soul gift.
Mm-hmm.
So that story is amazing, and I really hope those that are listening, especially for those who are looking to tap into abundant success right now, because this is what's going to give you the key to unlocking the door. You will not you will not be able to tap into abundant success if you are not tapping into your spiritual gifts, if you are not accepting who you are. So Colleen, I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
In the summit, you are going to be sharing an experience with, like all the
Mm-hmm.
other speakers, we're doing experiences. So what is your experience going to be shared with? What experience are you going to be sharing with the participants of the summit?
Yeah, so we can pretty much take what I've just said and like amplify it to 10 degrees, because I'm going to be talking about really leaning into like your power and truth, and like fully stepping in and embodying that, and how to lead in that space. And I'll be giving some tips and tricks that you can just literally take to be able to run with, to be able to step into that space and hold it. And some pretty funny stories as well. I'm sure that I'll be sharing some of that.
Amazing, absolutely fantastic. And I love that. I love that you're going to be helping people embody their power. Gosh,
Mm-hmm.
if we had that like 15, 20 years ago, the world
I
would be
know.
very different for us all, right? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so grateful to you for coming on board and sharing this magic, because it's your magic and it's the magic that you give out there to the world. So with the summit fast approaching now,
Mm-hmm.
um, if you could give the audience listening to this recording, or where am I going with that? If you could give the audience listening to this recording one wish for the
Yeah.
summit, for their lives, for their souls, what would that be?
Yeah, I would wish, and upon you, let's just say, I would desire for you to consider living a life from the heart and opening up your heart more. So for those of you that don't know, our soul mission, Sacred Heart Temple, higher self connection, all resides in our heart. So the more that we drop out of our mind and move into our heart and lead and trust through our heart and ask questions through our heart to then take aligned action, the more we can be in alignment, the more we can then find that juicy flow, that you were talking about, and really live in the grace and ease and the abundance and the desires that we actually have, and be super connected in life. But it's the times that we drop, out of our heart and into our mind, that we keep thinking about and thinking about and thinking about. So in connection with the summit, I wish for you or hope for you that you will come in with an open heart. And I wish and hope for you that in life that you lead life that way as well.
That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so for those that are looking to tap into abundant success, Colleen, what tip would you give them?
Yeah, so I've literally been having this conversation over the last little bit. I'm in the middle of leading like a money energy program right now, which is not something I normally tend to own, but I was directed that I needed to. And I want to remind you about abundance, that abundance is your birthright. So if you feel abundant and you are abundant in all ways in your life, then success is a natural byproduct of that because of the fact that you step in every single day in your flow and you own it. So I would say to you, trust in the universal alignment and believe that abundance is your birthright.
Beautiful, thank you. And I totally share that. So I've been working with mindset, money, and motivation as my three key pillars ever since I started doing energy work. It
Oh,
was just
cool.
a recipe that came to me and it was something that stuck and it just hasn't left. And I
Yeah.
do believe that if you don't have the mindset because you
Mm-hmm.
haven't got the energy right, you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to have the motivation because you haven't
Mm-hmm.
got your energy right. And you're definitely not going to have the money because you haven't got your energy right.
Yeah.
And I just believe that we, in this era that we're in at the moment, the connection with healing the money wound is so
Mm-hmm.
strong. It's like everywhere I go at the moment, everyone was like, we need to heal the money wound. We need to heal the money wound. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And I'm like, yeah, let's wrap that up because the more we heal that,
Yeah.
the more the future generations are not holding on to the 1920s poverty and the 1940s war.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that we have to save, we have to hold on, we have to, do the lack and the scarcity thing. And I know for my children, I want them to have a better future
Mm-hmm.
than living in that false, and it is false scarcity, isn't it? But anyway, I'm off.
Oh yeah, it totally is. Well, and just make a comment to that. The new children birthing into the world right now are not coming with the pattern of scarcity and lack. So unless their parents are embedding it in them, which they could be because that's their beliefs, they don't know that. They don't feel that. They don't come in with that where we were born with it already programmed in our patterns. So it's interesting because everything's shifting right in the energetic ascension and how
Mhm.
everything's moving with the energy. So if you consciously have a pattern of scarcity and lack, then you could potentially, unless you're in awareness, pass that on to your kids that just move through the world. So just like you said, busting open, our job is to heal ourselves. So we heal the ancestor line because we are in charge of that now. That's a thing. Like that's actually
Yep.
what it is. But our kids are below us going, yo mom, like we don't need to think this way and life is different than this and all of this different dynamics of stuff, right? So they're not taking it on unless you're actually making them take it on, meaning like you're like literally have that energy around it. So there's so much cool things you and I could chat about, I know, forever. I'm like, I just wanted to mention that
Totally.
because I think it's important that we recognize it right now, that we recognize that that is actually a thing. So yeah.
No, and it is a thing. And I also from experience and do see on a daily basis where parents are putting their lack and scarcity mindsets on the
Mm-hmm.
children. But I'm
Yep.
choosing just for myself and my children, I want
Yeah.
to change that. I want
Yep.
to change that programming. And those that want to change it with me can do. And
Yes.
that's where my passion comes from. But I love the fact that you've got your money program going on at the moment. Is there anything else, and in terms of tapping into abundant success or the summit, that you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap up this quick interview today?
Yeah, like I really believe and I watch this happen consistently all the time in the work that I do is one choice can change your life. So one choice literally can change your life. So if you are feeling called to join us at the summit, some speakers are already speaking into your energy field where you're like, "Oh my God, yes, show up and be present in that relationship with them, in that energy with them. Start to believe in the possibilities that you can expand in the world. You can move through the circumstances that you have. You can be, do, and have everything that's moving through your vibration. Because I live in the philosophy, if it's in you, it's for you. So it's not someone else's
Absolutely.
dream that's coming out, right? It's yours. It's yours inside of you. All of it is yours. If you see a life outside of what you currently have, it is already in motion in the universal alignment. Your job now is to make a choice to step into that. So
Oh,
that's where
Colleen,
I'd love
thank
to
you
leave
so
everyone.
much. Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
you're
you, thank
welcome.
you. I love your message. I love your passion. I love your energy. So for those that are listening, get yourself registered, get over to the summit. And most of all, don't forget, you can tap into abundant success whenever you like. But if you want help to do that, you have to get in the summit. So on that note, thank you so much for joining me, Colleen. I can't wait to see where this summit is going to take, because the transformations are going to be absolutely phenomenal. But have a wonderful day, week, hour, wherever you're at right now. I'll speak to you all very soon.
Bye.